All right.
Okay. So Lookingglass Rural Fire District Budget Hearing Agenda for June 14th, 2023. We'll call the meeting to order and start with our salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so roll call. Paul Reardon here. Mark Bennett is out. Rob is out. David Smith.
Here.
Mark Bennett.
Here.
Bill Starnes.
Here.
So we need to review and approve minutes from May 15th.
Okay, so Rob, those are not here either. Rob's not here. So
Right, so we don't have the minutes
okay, for the budget meeting. Yeah,
for the budget meeting, that's correct.
budget committee meeting.
Okay. So if we don't have them, we can't approve them. Does that
We'll
affect?
approve them at the July meeting.
Okay, okay, cool. All right, so then next up is review of the 23-24 budget process.
Like I say, we went through the whole process. We started back in, we had a budget meeting May 15th.
Right,
We've done all the noticing in the papers and everything. We've done what's required, made the budget committee approved it
right,
on May
June
15th.
15th.
The major changes this year were just the grants. We've got a lot of grants, especially the seismic grant. So, and then everything is up. Everything is up, 7 to 10%. I'm talking, and fuel's up more than that. So
Yeah.
that was the main thing about the budget. It was approved by the budget committee. All that stuff is posted online, and shoot, that was about it.
Okay,
Everything's fine.
so yeah, so we were just gonna call for public comment, and we have no public this evening. So with nothing else, then I guess we move to adopt it. Is that the next step?
So we have a resolution, you guys are looking at, and basically what we've taken is the resolution 2023-01. And that basically has all the numbers off the budget that were approved and appropriates the money, which is, this year, because of all the grants and stuff, is $3,799,947. And that will be, so if everything possible that we have grants out for, plus the, well, $2.5 million of that is the seismic grant, right? So then that would be the budget. So we appropriate that money so that we can spend it all if that happened. If we don't spend it all, then we don't spend it all, and that won't be part of it.
Okay.
So this, all you would do is move that. That would just get forwarded, because you'll approve that in the regular budget, in the regular board meeting here in about 10 minutes.
Okay. All right, so with no public comment, nothing further, then we can adjourn the budget hearing.
When do we approve the minutes from the meeting of May 10th?
That would be next. That would be the next. We just finished one meeting, now we're going to another meeting.
Okay.
All right, so we'll adjourn the meeting. Do we need a motion?
Make a motion. I'll second it.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Okay, so that is the end of the budget hearing. And then we'll sign these, right? Should we sign those now? Or do it at the end of the?
At the end of the meeting, we need to sign 2 copies of the ones with the red color. I gotta get one to the state and one to the county.
Okay. All right. So now moving on to the Lookingglass Rural Fire District meeting for June 14th, following the budget hearing, and we'll call the meeting to order. Should we do pledge allegiance again, or skip that?
Skip it.
I think we can skip it because we're just meeting to meeting,
We're
right?
continuing, yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm not breaking any rules here. All right, so I will lead us in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all together for one more wonderful meeting to discuss how to spend our taxpayer dollars. We're going to do it with the utmost intent of building the safest and best community for our local residents. And I'd also like to put in a prayer for the gentleman who was in an accident up here from our fire department. Please watch over him, help him to heal back as quickly as possible. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Who was that?
Lester.
Where was the accident at?
Up by the quarry up there.
Oh,
That
like a
big-
fire?
That big scar in the middle of the.
What happened?
It was a head-on wreck between his car and a gravel truck. The gravel truck flipped and crashed. His car got destroyed. He was flown up to
Eugene, right?
Eugene with internal injuries and a broken femur. He's back home now and recuperating.
Yeah. Lucky to be alive.
Yeah, he is.
Was the truck driver all right too?
The truck driver was okay. He got out of the truck and was fine.
Okay. All right, so roll call. Paul Reardon here. Mark Bennett. Bill Starnes. Rob Icola is out. David Smith.
Here.
And Steve Rhodes.
Here.
Okay. Do we have any additions? No. All right, so let's start with, are we going to approve the May 10th meetings?
I move to approve the meetings.
Okay. The second motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's approved for May 10th. Okay. Financial report.
We wrote 11 checks for a total of $6,116.74. I transferred $10,000 last month into our checking account. We have $8,408.66 in our checking account. We have $244,542.57 in our money market, and our public fund checking getting $55.65. I'd like to have a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And bills. Okay. And as we mentioned earlier, we don't have any public here today, so there will be no public comments. So we're up to you, Chief.
Okay, hey, I just want to make one thing about our checking account. I mean, our money market is way higher than normal right now, 244,000 for this time of year. And the reason that is because the grant money for the wildland staffing already came in. So in our bookkeeping, Trista has, I forget what the term is, but they've moved it. It's going to show up in fiscal year July as accrued or something.
Yeah, it's an accrual accounting.
Right.
Yeah.
So even though it's in our account, but it's not really here yet. This officially on paper. So we're drawing interest on that, but until July 1st starts. And the reason that's done is because I don't want it credited to this year's budget when I do the audit and everything, so just to let you know. So May of 23, we had 23 total calls, 15 medical, 2 structured, 1 MBA. We had the fire responses were in Camas and 10 Mile, and 1 automatic aid District 2. So we did a lot. We've had road rescue training this month. We had DFPA came out twice, and we did annual refresher and what do you call that? Fire shelter training. That little white car that was out there, we took one more night just to finish it off totally into pieces. We had our annual cone course and driver's training. We have to do that every 2 years according to our insurance company. And we co-hosted the regional wildland drill on May 20th. We burned a lot of different burn piles and stuff around the Lookingglass area. We had 56 firefighters from all of Douglas County and a state fire marshal rep. So Bob Scott, Justin Fox, and Rich did a really good job. And then the firefighters stayed here all day providing logistics, food, water support, and that kind of stuff, and covering the area while everything's going on. Last weekend was the OVFA convention, Oregon Volunteer Firefighters Association convention. It was hosted here in Roseburg this year at the fairgrounds. We had 4 people attend, and then we also provided water tender and personnel for the live burning to assist in putting that on. That was the first day of the 3-day event. It was a pretty good deal. You did some EMS classes, right, Patricia?
Yeah, hours on Saturday, hours on Sunday.
We had one guy in live fire, and we had 2 people in auto extrication classes. And they did some water rescue classes, they did rope rescue classes, and a bunch of other stuff. It was a good deal. Firefighters, like I said, we helped with the firefighter convention. Firefighter McEwing was injured, and he's back home recuperating. Our department's kind of taken on a project to rebuild his front porch to accommodate his injuries and access. Originally, we were going to build a ramp over there, but before they let him go, they made him do therapy to climb stairs. So he has like 3 stairs to get up on his deck, so he can do that. So, but his deck is old, like 20 years old, rotten stuff. So we're working on getting some donations and working through the local mills and everything to rebuild his front porch for him. We have a contractor assisting us, and I'm going to say in the next couple of weeks or so, it's going to all come together.
Nice.
There's also a food list at his church down in Winston. I think it's called Food Train. It's a website where you can schedule providing meals and stuff. So our department provided meals for their family for the first 3 or 4 days while she was driving back and forth to Eugene. And then their church has kind of taken over on that. Equipment. Feral Gas is still working on the burn trailer. We've just had some minor repairs and maintenance. Nothing major's going on. The Rescues 1070 had our inventory finished. We did the flow test on the SCBA's, and then the air system maintenance actually was done yesterday for the year. And we got another thing for next year's fiscal year is an airbag system was sitting back there on the table. That was one of our major purchases for next year, and it came in early too, so we're faking like it's not here yet. The facility, Tyler did some more spring yard work. Dallas Hurd came and offered. Dallas's family was involved in an accident this month also, a head-on accident up on Coos Bay Wagon Road. And nobody was injured. They had a Tesla. That's the first vehicle accident we've had involving a Tesla. And there's some issues with Teslas if their battery compartment gets compromised or so. And this one didn't. It was a head-on. The amazing thing about that thing is when their airbags go off, you're like inside a cocoon or something. There was 5 people in the car and nobody was injured.
Wow.
The lady in the other car was injured, but they weren't. And he was very gracious, and he has a landscaping company, and he's offered to schedule his crew during the year just to come in here and do a day a month or something. Bring in a crew and just wipe it out every month. So we're going to take him up on that.
Nice.
Just to support us in the community. For the grant right now, so it kind of seems like nothing's going on, but what's happening is the proposed drawings, initial proposed drawings have been finished. We've got a copy of them, but they're very initial. We met with them and hashed out what we wanted, paint colors, carpet colors, where doors would be, how the front ramp, especially what's going on out there, hashed out a bunch of stuff on what we can get. They sent out a surveyor to do the whole front of the station for the concrete ramp and drainage for the whole place. So there's a bunch of stakes and stuff out there. They did asbestos and lead paint testing. There is asbestos in the station in the flooring, mostly in the office areas and stuff. So they're gonna have to address that as they take that out. So that means we're gonna get new flooring eventually. The new bank account, we're continuing with that. The state, we actually had to transfer some money from our account into that and then pay it back. The state is sending us a list, or they sent us a notice saying, hey, we've transferred money to your account. And I had written checks to the vendors and stuff on that. And when I went into the account, it wasn't here yet. And it was about a week and a half before it came. And it was like, all it is electronic transfer. It's like it's supposed to be done that day. So, their excuse is that they have some new employees up there and they're just getting up to speed, but they told us that 3 or 4 months ago too, so. Anyway, so what I have learned is that I'm not writing anything until I see the cash in the account.
Yeah,
So, I have access to it here, but I don't have access to it at home, so, I wrote those checks while I was at home, and then I came down here to look at the bank account for the public account. There's no money in there. But anyway, it was nothing happened, so it was good. But I learned my lesson about dealing with the state. So right now, what's going on is Vitus and ZCS are together, and ZCS has given the proposed drawings. Vitus Construction is meeting with them and deciding what it's going to cost to do what ZCS has drawn and engineered. So once that happens, there'll be an amended contract from Vitus that we will have to approve for the actual cost of the whole construction part of the project. They've been working together for about a week and a half now, and hopefully they'll be done pretty soon. We're working with Darcy down at Wheeler Bookkeeping. The wildland staffing starts July 1st. I got 3 new employees that weren't here last year that need all the paperwork, the W-4s and all that stuff. And there's a little increase. There's a new minimum wage this year, and then there's a family leave that will be increased. We've already got the grant. We've already got the schedule done for everybody, and I met with Wheeler the other day with a new budget, just a proposed budget. Until it's approved, they're not going to do anything, but just so they can set it up for next year for the Excel spreadsheet and all that stuff. There's a few house cleaning issues I've had with them. Some of our, I just got the final Excel account. We're up till June, and some of the stuff's just been miscoded. The money's gone into the wrong line items on her program. So we got to straighten that all out before July 1st so that when we do the audit, that it's right. I'm not sure why that happens, but sometimes she does seem to put stuff in wrong places. Let's see, what else? And then the budget, we completed the budget, at least most of it. All we have to do is wait on approval now. And that's it.
that's it. All right. Seismic grant, RFP status and contracts you just covered.
Yeah.
The budget calendar, 23-24 budget calendar and meeting, which
Yeah,
we
we
just
did
had.
that, yeah.
Oh, the domain and email problems?
The domain and email, I'm still working on the individual accounts, but the domain and everything else is working good. It's just, I've been working on this other stuff and I gotta go into each of your guys' accounts and link them to your personal emails as well. So you can start getting all the great mail that you love.
All right, and then you covered wildland staffing grant and the contract also. So that's done. New business resolution 2023.
So we talked about that in the budget hearing. I want to review, just going down the front of this, this is all official wording from the State Department of Revenue. But anyway, the budget is, you guys will be adopting the budget of $3,799,947. $96,824 of that is in the general fund, which is a combination of material, property services and materials. We're not going to be transferring any money into the equipment fund this year. We're pretty much a zero budget as far as what's in and what's out. And we have a contingency of $15,000, so the total appropriation for the general fund will be $111,824. We have $22,710 that's unappropriated, so that'll be in the general fund, but not appropriated. So we'll still have that money left to carry us on until November when property taxes come, if we needed it. So total requirements for that's $134,534. The equipment fund, with the grants, matching and everything, we need $55,811 in it. We have a contingency, we have $114,056 extra dollars in the equipment fund that'll be left over if everything was spent. So the whole equipment fund's about $179,867. And then as far as the grants are going, if we total up all the grant appropriations between the engines, the communications, the seismic, the staffing grant, I'm trying to think, I think that's it. It's $3,485,546. And then if we add all that up, it comes up to $3,663,181. And we'll have $136,766 in reserve. $136,766 in reserve. And that all adds up to $3,799,947. So then part of the next thing is that part of this resolution is you guys impose the tax, which it's our normal tax rate of 5.5077 per thousand. And then the last one's categorizing the tax, and it's part of Article 11, Section 11B, which is a general government limitation, which is our current tax rate, and we don't have any additional taxes we're imposing. So that'll be the resolution.
You also already talked about the seismic grant,
Yep.
status, the asbestos survey, parking lot survey. Yep, the May 2023 regional fire levy training, FF injury, and fire season has started. It started on the 9th, right?
Last Friday. We're in a low right now, so you can still mow or do anything you want all day. There's just no outdoor burning. DFPA is not approving any industrial burning or anything right now. If the weather kind of holds like it has been, I'd expect that in the next month or two they might approve. For example, like what you were talking about, Bill, possibly your property. If you contact them, they might approve that, but it's not happening right now. The season started off pretty fast with a whole bunch of small fires, but it was really crazy.
President's report, I have nothing to report. Director's report, nothing to report. Any board member comments? All right, and no public. Next board meeting will be July 12th, 2023. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Before we do that,
Yes?
I'd like, I have a new business, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of a comment, suggestion, query, see what you guys think. I don't know if you're all aware of this, but I'm a financial advisor by career, right, by profession. I talked to Bill about it a little bit before he left on his trips, but we got $244,000 in the money market that's, sorry.
Nice.
We got $244,000 in a money market that's not paying anything.
Well, it pays a little bit, not much.
Well, $2 last month.
Yeah.
You know, just, I don't know if it's legal or anything else, but you can get money markets, exactly the same thing, zero risk, cash equivalent. Right now it's a little upside down, but you're getting over 5% return. That would, right at that rate, that would give the fire department over $1,000 a month in interest.
So our problem is Umpqua Bank, is what you're
So
saying.
it's the money market it's in.
No, it's banks aren't there to make you money.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, that's just not their job.
Well, yes, no. We put a little bit of money in, we're at Soft Q, and they're paying, I don't know, more than we would get in the saving in this checking account or savings account. So some banks are paying a little bit more, you know,
But
like
it's nowhere near the rate of
3 to
inflation.
5% or
Right.
something like that.
That's nowhere near the rate of
Money market.
There's a state, I'm not sure what the rules are, there's a state sponsored or insured investment program that we can put our money into also. Now, a lot of departments do that, we've never done it, but we could investigate that too, I forget what it's
because the state's so good at handling our money.
Yeah, I know. But like they're talking about, it's a higher interest rate, and that it's kind of, they take your tax dollars and invest it into their, like, this huge fund that's
Like
a
a
co-op
pension
of
fund.
all
Yeah.
districts and all that kind of stuff. And then you can draw back out of it as if it's a bank account, but, so that's something we could look into, and I'm not sure. If you'd like to, I just try to find out what's legal and what's not, what we can do with public money. I don't know what we can do.
Well, see, that's where I was tied up. I didn't know, if being at a, fire department, let's say, if we can invest in a private party,
As a nonprofit.
as a nonprofit to invest our
You're not
taxpayers'
really
money.
investing in the money market.
Huh?
You're just putting money there to gain interest.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, they're
but I don't know, we could do it to a public,
Yeah.
privately company, or if we have to go through the state for
Would we have access to the funds when we need it? Or do we
Yeah.
have to,
Yeah.
maybe a 6-month lockout or something like
It's
that?
not a CD.
So you do nonprofits or public, I mean, right now, do you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all the time, churches and whatnots. And it's basically,
it. What's the interest rates now?
today was like 4.85.
But you're not locked in, right? It's not like I'm gonna pay you 5% indefinitely. You go with the flow of
Correct.
the
It's
stock.
it's a true money market, where it fluctuates on their return, but it's a cash equivalent. I don't even think there's fees to do it. It puts nothing in my pocket or my company's pocket at all. It's just a service. And I'm thinking a way to put a little something back, into the fund, and it's,
If it's legal, we should do it.
So, yeah, we need to investigate that.
well, I
All right,
think
I'll-
it's food for thought anyway,
Yeah.
But you
yeah.
can't guarantee anything though. I mean, there's no, if the market goes to hell like it did today, you might not make anything of your money.
Did the market go to hell today?
And I heard, last time I heard it was down 300 and some odd dollars, 300 some
But
odd.
even though all this whole time, like you're saying, we're making 11 cents or
Yeah, it's really a joke.
$1.50.
Right.
It's stupid now,
Yeah.
Just speak candidly, right now the bank's laughing at
yeah.
you,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're using our three quarters of, or a $250,000, and they're making, at least
Oh,
12,
yeah.
15% on it. I'm paying you $1 for using your money. No, it is
That's
ridiculous.
behind it.
Let me
Yeah,
talk
I'd be glad
to,
to.
so we can talk to the Department of Revenue about that. And there's a couple ladies up there that just love us, kinda. It's because we're doing the right thing usually.
Yeah.
And just talk to them about it and see what we can get, yeah.
Yeah, and then just let them know it's not a selfish thing because it's a cash equivalent. Nobody makes money on it.
Right.
In other words, like if I need to transfer 10,000, what do? Call you, or who do I call and say, hey, I need 10,000, okay, it's done.
How do you
Probably
transfer now?
I call the bank, say transfer it, it's done.
So then, another thing is, we're gonna be transferring, we're gonna have a lot of money flowing through our hands in the next year too. So
Yeah.
that, we, like our public funds account's gonna have hundreds of thousands of dollars in it for a month at a time or something, so that would make a big difference.
In the reserve
Yeah.
money, that 3.7 million or 3.4 million, that's gonna sit in the money market, right? And you'll
Yeah.
transfer as you need it?
Well, no, it comes in, the
Well,
state, doesn't the state pay it, put
Yeah,
it in
they-
the transfer, and it's out?
Yeah.
It doesn't go in, it goes into that new checking account, and it's out, like
I
almost
can
immediately.
stay, yeah, I read it fast, but I mean, we could sit on it a few days or something.
I would
Yeah,
say
it's
slow roll it, make some
Yeah.
interest,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, the
I try to keep the
transfer,
vendors
the transfer process is like what Bill just mentioned. You can do it right online,
Yeah.
or you just call and say, hey, we need to,
Who do I,
We need to
who do
put-
I call?
Well,
Whatever,
whoever
you'd have to call
whatever
money
the
market
company
services.
is.
my office. Yeah, I mean, our current office, and just say, hey, put 10,000 back over into, is it Umpqua or Banner or? Yeah, just put 10,000 back over in Umpqua, done.
It usually takes a
So in
day.
other words,
It is an overnight.
I go into the bank and they do it right there, boom.
Yeah.
Or I call them on the phone and, okay, it's done. It's like,
Yeah.
So we would keep operating funds, whatever it costs, 30,000 or something in our money market, or 20 or whatever, and then just rotate it back, transfer it back and forth when we need it. That's what you're saying, the majority of it would be in another.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have anything to do with our budget or anything else, because our budget's paper. It doesn't matter where our money is, or like right now, our general fund and our equipment fund and everything else are in that money, they're mingled in that money market account, and the checking has nothing to do with our budget. So you can do whatever you want to.
Budget is paper.
Yeah.
Budget says this lump of
Yeah.
money goes here.
Yep.
Originally.
All money is
we used
here.
to- yeah.
But the guys down at Wheeler added into the earned interest now. I mean, there's obviously a path for it to enter right back into the funds, you know, I mean, so.
Right, yeah.
It's just a concept, you know.
No, I mean, I get it, it's what you do, you're looking at it and going, this doesn't make sense. I was wondering about that too, but I don't, that's not my
We can
business.
do it, and then,
Yeah, we'll find out we can do it, and I know that there is a state program that a lot of small districts use also. And it's kind of a weird, like I said, it's kind of a weird deal, they latch onto your tax dollars, and then you check money out of it. But there's some kind of commitment to it, but I don't think it's not like you're
Yeah,
gonna lose your
and-
money or something.
Yeah, I can get all the details on it. I cannot be part of the vote.
Okay.
That's against the law for me.
Yeah, you can do some on there too, and then I'll check with the department and see what they have to say too. Yeah, great.
Okay, so, I guess on that note, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll do that.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned.
Put the sign these two.
Yeah.
who has to sign?